everyone, Andrew back again, and as you can see I'm finally back with another movie related video, and this is actually a response video for Dead by Dawn 93 or Cody. And if you're not subscribed to his channel, I will be leaving his channel link in the description box. Please check him out. He's a big movie fan and he's been a really good supporter of mine for a long time, so definitely well worth subscribing to. Anyway, last week Cody uploaded a pretty awesome video. Basically it was an open tag video where he ran through 13 horror related questions and he just left the horror tag as an open thing, and a few people have already done responses, which is awesome. And Cody, I'm finally here to do mine. So after this video, if anyone else is interested in joining in, all you've got to do is answer the same following questions that I'm about to. It's an open tag. I'm not really going to specify anyone in particular to do a response. It's entirely up to you. So these are a lot of fun to do. It helps sort of get the community together, which is always a good thing. So with that being said, let's get on to the questions. Alright, so question number one is a nice easy question, or at least for me, and it is, what is your favourite horror movie? So the answer is really simple, most of you know it already. My answer is of course Halloween. Awesome movie, easily my #1 horror film of all time. Question two is, who is your favourite Scream Queen? And this actually took a bit of thinking because I had a couple of people in mind. I had Danielle Harris and Amy Steele in mind. Now a lot of people may be surprised that I haven't chosen Jamie Lee Curtis, but to be completely honest, apart from her role in the Halloween films, I'm not really a massive fan of most of her other movies. So with that being said, my pick for favourite Scream Queen is definitely Amy Steele. She was in Friday the 13th Part 2 and she was also in April Fool's Day. She was absolutely awesome in Friday the 13th Part 2, one of my favourite Friday the 13th heroines of all time. And she was actually meant to come back for Part 3, but something happened. I'm not entirely sure the whole stuff around that, but she never made it back into Part 3, which was a shame because she was absolutely awesome in Part 2. But yeah, favourite Scream Queen is Amy Steele. Number three is, what type of horror do you like the most? This was another very easy one for me, and it's definitely the slasher genre. I love slasher movies. I just love the way the movies play out, seeing all the different and creative kills, and there's a lot of awesome slasher icons out there. So yeah, slashers are definitely my favourite type of horror. Question four is another fairly easy one for me, and it's, what type of horror do you like the least? And for me, it's definitely comedy horror. I'm very, very picky when it comes to this genre of horror. The movie has to be something pretty special and it has to blend the comedy elements with the horror elements perfectly for me to like it. That's one of the main reasons why I dislike Return of the Living Dead so much. I just, yeah, don't like the comedy elements into it. So 9 times out of 10 I'm not a massive fan of comedy horror, so that would definitely be my least favourite horror genre. Alright, so question 5 is a pretty fun and interesting question actually, and it's, if you were a Scream Queen, who would it be and why? This was fairly easy for me. I've decided to go with a pretty well known one, and that is Danielle Harris. Out of every Scream Queen, I think she's had an absolutely awesome career. I mean, she kick-started things off in Halloween 4, which is an amazing film. And most recently she was involved in Hatchet 2 and Hatchet 3. So she's done other slasher movies in between, but they're sort of her highlights. And those are some of my favourite slasher films of all time. So yeah, easily, if I could be one Scream Queen, it would definitely be Danielle Harris. Number 6 is, who is your favourite horror villain? And most of you will know my answer already, and that is Michael Myers. Easily my favourite slasher icon or horror icon. I just think he's such an awesome character. Very, very dark and mysterious. He doesn't really have to do anything too over the top to get his kills, and yeah, just an awesome character. I do want to give another quick honourable mention to Chucky. Chucky was really the first horror villain that I experienced when I first got into horror, so I definitely wanted to quickly mention him as well. But yeah, my all-time favourite is definitely Michael Myers. Number 7 is who is your worst horror villain? And this was kind of difficult for me because I pretty much like most of the common ones, but my answer may be a little bit controversial to some fans out there, but it's not really the worst, but it's my least favourite, and that goes to Freddy Krueger. Don't get me wrong, the original Nightmare on Elm Street is absolutely fantastic, but I think they really turned the character into something a little bit silly with the sequels. His one-liners and just the whole sort of comedy elements thrown into most of the other sequels just really didn't fit well with me, and I kind of felt that they really ruined what was a fantastic character with Freddy Krueger in the original movie. So maybe controversial to some of you, but my least favourite or worst horror villain would be Freddy Krueger. Number 8 is which horror movie is the horror movie that you liked the least? And this was kind of tricky because I've seen a lot of doozies, but I'm definitely going to have to go with August Underground. I could only make it 15 minutes into the movie, and to me I just thought it was absolutely stupid. It was just being extreme for the point of it, and yeah, I just did not get the appeal to that movie at all, so my pick is August Underground. Number 9 is what horror movie is overrated? And again, this is a kind of controversial answer, but I'm definitely going to have to go with Return of the Living Dead now. I've tried to give this movie a go several different times, and I just can't get into it. The comedy elements really ruin it for me. I'm not really a big fan of the characters either, so yeah, it's definitely Return of the Living Dead. Number 10, or question 10, is what horror movie is underrated? And I decided to go with a awesome 80s horror movie, and that is The Gate. Now, I've talked about this movie a lot in the past, and I definitely think it's underrated, especially next to most of the other big hitters of 80s horror. The Gate is fantastic. I highly recommend it, so if you've never seen it before, definitely check it out. Question 11 is, do you like horror spoofs? And the quick answer for this one is no. Again, it sort of blends into the silly comedy elements that I don't like. I haven't really seen that many. I think I've seen one of the Scary Movie spoofs and that was shit. So yeah, I don't like horror spoofs at all. And question 12 is, what is your favourite horror series? And this one was really easy. Another obvious one, it's definitely Halloween. But a couple of other honourable mentions definitely go to the Child's Play series and Friday the 13th. But yeah, Halloween will always be my favourite horror series. And question 13 is name 13 horror villains or horror movies. I'm going to go with villains. So we have Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, Chucky, Lord Crumb, Isaac from Children of the Corn, Mick Taylor from Wolf Creek, Sam from Trick or Treat, Pinhead, Victor Crowley, Frank Zito from Maniac, Cropsey from The Burning, and Harry Warden from My Bloody Valentine. Okay, so that is my horror tag response for Cody. Once again, his channel link will be left in the description box below. Please check him out. And if anyone is interested in doing a response, all you have to do is just answer the same set of 13 questions like I did, so that would be awesome. Cody, thanks a lot for setting this up. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad to see a few other people getting involved with this one. So, Cody, I hope you've enjoyed my answers. To everyone else, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and thanks a lot for watching.